So today I'm going to play a news broadcast of a correction officer getting arrested. So I want to play this and comment on it. So let's check it out.
Specialist Williams, step up front, please.
An early morning arrest inside the Clayton County Jail after the sheriff's office says security specialist LaPortia Williams smuggled contraband to an inmate.
You are hereby terminated from the Clayton County Sheriff's Office and under arrest.
Atlanta News First heard jail phone audio of Williams conspiring with inmate Rodriguez Martin to smuggle this phone charger inside of this cereal bar box. Major Michael Johnson says security cameras captured the moment Williams dropped that box into a trash can like Martin asked her to. A shakedown inside Martin's cell block this morning ended with the inmate back in handcuffs.
Specialist Williams is now an inmate here at Clayton County Jail because of you.
So they come to roll call, and at roll call, you're in front of your peers, and you're going through the inspection process. The supervisors are looking at you to make sure, and this is without the media there. This is what happens at roll call. They're making sure that you're fit for duty. They're making sure that you're not sick. They're making sure that you're not intoxicated, if you're not drunk or anything. They're looking in your eyes and making sure that you're fit and ready to go out there to do your job. And you don't want to be singled out for anything, even if it's something minor like your shoes are not shined. You'd rather the supervisor, the captain, pull you to the side after roll call and say, hey man, do something about this. You don't want to get embarrassed in front of everybody at all, right? And the only reason why you want to be called to the front is if they're recognizing you for something that you've done that's good. Like if they have a certificate for you or award for you or a citation or something that they want to give you to recognize you for a job well done. That's the only reason why you want to get called to the front. So this officer probably doesn't know why she's being called to the front, and I'm sure the other officers that are there have no clue of what's going on, and they bring her to the front, and the captain or the supervisor that's here is telling her that you're arrested and you're fired and you're going to be arrested. This is terrible. And then, okay, we have the inmate that's involved as well, so we're going to continue with the video and look at that. All right, this is where the officer throws the box that has the cell phone charger into the garbage like she was instructed. So let me play that whole section again so we can be up to date.
Martin to smuggle this phone charger inside of this cereal bar box. Major Michael Johnson says security cameras captured the moment Williams dropped that box into a trash can like Martin asked her to. Major Johnson says when he took over as jail administrator a month ago, he warned everyone there would be changes because this happens far too often.
That I can't believe that they're still doing it. After I gave them warning, I told them there's changes coming and let them know that there was going to be consequences to actions such as this.
Now, he's saying that he can't believe they're still doing this. Every administrator that ever came into an institution has given basically the same speech that, things are changing now. There's going to be changes made, and we want you to do it this particular way. And if you get out of line, we're going to discipline. That's like just the basic thing that any supervisor that's taken over a jail, if you get a new warden, they're going to have this speech and they're going to tell you that things are changing and you better get your act together and things like that. You got to show people. You can't just say it. You got to show them.
Just this.
He says he hopes his message this morning was clear to the other employees that this cannot go on.
If you make a decision to do criminal activity in our jail, you'll see the same fate.
Now, what is a better example than that? I mean, even the dog is there. They have the canine unit there. The dog is even hearing it. Like, yo, you better do the right thing or else this could be you. All right. So this is the supervisor getting off on the right foot, and he's putting down the law, and he's letting everybody know that, hey, there's a new sheriff in town and y'all better straighten up. Okay.
Johnson says he wants to set an example for the future of this jail and their inmates.
And not only for the officers, but the inmate too is being arrested. He's being rearrested. So it's another charge for him. Of course, the officer is going to lose her job and be arrested and possibly go to jail for this. You know, I know officers that I work with personally that have been arrested and have gone to jail for bringing things into a facility. All right, so this is a serious offense. This is a serious felony. All right, let's hear out the video.
During a sweep of that jail block, deputies did find an iPhone in one of those cells, and Major Johnson says it's not yet clear how Martin and Williams developed a relationship to the point where she was tempted to bring in this contraband.
Usually when officers are persuaded to bring something into a facility, it starts out as something small. Like an inmate might want you to bring him something, you know, that doesn't really matter that much, like candy. You know, like the inmate might say, hey, you know, I haven't had a Snickers bar in like 2 years I've been in here. What do you think? Can you bring me a Snickers bar tomorrow, or something minor, like some peppermints or something? And from there, it just snowballs. Oh, could you bring me this? And, you know, if you bring me that, then I can have my girlfriend or my cousin give you some money and you bring that into me, okay? And it just snowballs from there. So the thing for a new correction officer to remember, don't take anything, don't bring anything in. I don't care how small it is. I don't care if they ask you to bring a raisin, and don't bring it in. Don't give them anything. You can't start down this path, right? And how does the administration find out that this is happening? Right? They said that they have a phone call recorded of her communicating with the inmate.
Atlanta News First heard jail phone audio of Williams conspiring with inmate Rodriguez Martin.
So evidently she gave the inmate her number, right? He got the number some kind of way, and they're communicating. Anybody who works in the jail, anybody who calls or gets the phone calls from an inmate that's in jail, please know that those phone calls are usually being recorded. Okay? It's just simple as that. Now, she works in the jail. She should know this. You should never have a conversation with an inmate outside of the job. You know, an inmate should never get your cell phone number or your home number and things like that. But there's some sort of relationship going on here, so it's happening. How do they find out about this conversation when phone calls are going on all day throughout the facility? You might have thousands of inmates making phone calls all day. Is there someone monitoring everybody's phone calls every day? No. The reason why officers get caught doing stuff like this is primarily because the inmates are the ones that tell on the officers. Right? It could have been the very inmate that she is bringing this cell phone charger to that actually told on her. An inmate will contact his attorney when he knows that he has an officer that's been compromised and is doing something wrong, and say, hey, you know, I need to get out of here. I need to get my sentence reduced. I need to be released. I got some information. Can you talk to the DA for me? And I will tell them about an officer that is corrupt in here, and if I do that, can I get released, or can I get my sentence reduced, or can I get transferred to a different facility that's closer to home so my family could come visit me? They are going to turn you in. And if not the inmate that you're actually bringing this stuff to, if you guys have a cool relationship or you're related to each other and you're bringing this stuff into them, they may not tell on you, but the other inmates that are watching, what's keeping them from telling on you? What's keeping them from turning you in and getting a deal for doing that? You know, a DA would rather get a corrupt correction officer or some sort of law enforcement officer than the guy who's, you know, a drug user or a drug dealer, you know, some common thief. They would rather have that correction officer. So that's a bigger feather in their cap. So they will always want to make a deal to get that correction officer. And the inmates know this. Like I said, this is one of the most embarrassing things that can happen. Now, I'm going to show my age for a minute. There was a show when I was coming up called Branded, and some of the older people that are watching this video may remember this show, Branded. And it starts out with a soldier that's being stripped. You know, they take his hat off, and then they take the bars off his shirt, and then they even pull the buttons off his jacket, you know, like he really is getting stripped. And this is the worst type of dishonor that you want to experience. And this is the equivalent to what happened to that officer in the video. She just gets stripped down and embarrassed in front of the ranks and thrown out, pretty much like Brandon did. I mean, they even broke his sword and threw it out, and then they made him make that walk. You know, this is equivalent to what happened to this officer today in this video. When you have somebody bringing contraband into the facility, it makes everybody's job much more difficult, much more dangerous. When I was working on Rikers Island, we had an officer that was bringing in razor blades. You know, you can buy a box of razor blades, and he was selling the straight razors for like $25, I think it was, to the inmates. And it's making it more dangerous for the inmates, making it more dangerous for the officers, but he didn't care because he was getting paid. And he got caught and he went to prison. But you gotta have an administration that's on top of everything. You gotta have, you can trust the officers, but you gotta verify everything. You can't just go on blind trust, and you gotta watch everybody. And we gotta watch each other to make sure we're doing the right thing. And that's what makes a good jail. And that's what makes the system work properly. You know, this is a crazy video. I'm gonna review more stuff like this because I find it interesting. Human nature is interesting to me. So I just want to thank you for stopping by and checking me out. Hopefully you liked the video and maybe you'll share it. And until next time, as always, peace and stay safe.